Hello, good evening. Howdy, how are you? Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. Hello, everyone. Hello, who's there? Who's the first person there today? Let me say hello to you. Please say hi or share your name with us so that we can see you. Good evening, everyone. Why can't I see anyone? Hey, Jane. Good evening. You're the first name I'm seeing right now. Thank you very much, Jane. Hi, Frederick. How are you? Good evening. Thank you for joining. Hello, Miss Sis Banjoko. Good evening. How are you? Thank you for joining. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. As you can see, the title of today is Battle of the Mind. Dr. Sunday actually treated this program yesterday, one of the 7 weapons of Satan. And this one is the mind. So we really want to reflect on it. And I really urge you guys, please, 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 I want everyone to join me in this because this affects everybody. There's no one is exempt from this. And then it was very intriguing yesterday when Dr. Sunday was treating this topic. There are lots of examples, especially from the church, where we're supposed to be protected and loved, and how they've manipulated us to the point where we're actually fighting to keep our mind, to keep sane. Everyone wants a mind. So thank you guys. I like your thumbs up. Please join in today's discussions so that we can all learn from each other. Hello, Tandika. Thank you for joining. Watching from Manchester, UK. Wow. Thank you for joining. I appreciate that. Tatiana, good evening. Thank you for joining. Kaka, how are you? Good evening for joining. Pastor Bede, good evening. Thank you for joining. How are you? Please, guys, you know what to do. Do the honors of share. I love when you guys share. And there are 3 ways of sharing. So you can either share by tagging someone using the symbol that you use in emails, which is @ symbol, and the name of the person. So you put the symbol @ and then start typing letters of the names, and then Facebook will populate different names for you. You select the people that you want to join you, and they would be able to see that you've mentioned their name in the comment section of this broadcast. Hello, Mark. Hello, TY. Good evening. Thank you for joining. So the other thing you could also do is you can share this. So it goes onto your page. So it goes directly onto your homepage on Facebook. So others also will see that you like this program and you put it on your Facebook so that your friends and family can see. And the third way that I know, you might know another way, please let us know. The third way I know is for you to actually invite people individually. So you actually click on invite so that people will join you. So if you can do that, that would be great. And I would love to hear your comments as well. Don't hesitate to write what you feel, how you feel, what your thoughts are on this program in the comment section. And what else can you do? You can always call us. That's my favorite one. When I get a call, I get so excited. So what you can do is call Julie Ngoya on Messenger. Julie Ngoya on Messenger. She's doing some crazy dance for me right here. So that's why I'm smiling. But it's Julie Ngoya on Messenger. You can call on her Messenger, Facebook Messenger. So guys, please do the honors, share, comment, and also feel free to call us on Julie Ngoya's Messenger. Hello, Dr. Anu. How are you? Adepeju, good evening. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful. Fola Shele, good evening. Thank you. Hello, Grace. Hello, who else about Puna? How are you? Thank you for joining. Hello, Samuel. Hello, Mark. Good evening. So, guys, do the honors again and share. Let me just remind you of a few things, guys. Number 1, right? HMT, that's History Makers Training. So Dr. Sunday is having this training. You must know about HMT, History Makers. If you don't know, just remember this name, HMT, History Makers. That alone will tell you a lot. And if you know anyone that have already attended HMT, please speak to them and find out what happened to them after HMT, what they discovered, how they've developed from attending HMT. So there's another one coming up from the 5th to the 12th of November. So that's next month. It's about 3 weeks or so to HMT. If you're in Europe or in America, you can still come because you don't need visa to come to Ukraine. But if you're in Nigeria or in any other country of the world, you need to check with your consulate. But I believe that you will need visa, and it might be a little bit of a challenge to get visa right now, so within that time. But if you still really want to, I would always give it a try. But if you don't need a visa, then please make plans to come. There's a special discount, guys, going on at the moment until the 20th of October. So until the 20th of this month, you will get a discount. That's about 8 days. So today you have a discount that you can fall on. Is slightly cheaper than the actual cost of coming, or should I say price of the HMT. It's just for accommodation. Dr. Sunday don't actually charge for the whole thing. It's just for the accommodation. So guys, please check it out. If you want to check it out, it's on sundayadelajablog.com/visit. That's sundayadelajablog.com/visit. And you can also email directly to guest@godembassy.org. That's guest@godembassy.org. Hello, Irene says, how are you? So happy to be here. I'm so happy that you're here as well. Thank you so much for joining. So guys, please do the honors HMT number 1, honors of sharing. And don't forget HMT, History Makers Training. Check out on the website, sundayadelajablog.com/visit. That will give you as many information or as much information as possible regarding HMT. Everything that you need to know in terms of the forms and the details of the HMT is right there. And I will also suggest that you can go on Sunday Adelaja Official. That's Sunday Adelaja Official on YouTube. The HMT videos, so you just have a snippet, an idea. Each HMT are different, they're different topics. So Sunday comes with different new things, new information, and it's going to be an amazing one. I have an idea. I never know Dr. Sunday fully. He always comes with surprises, but I have an idea that what you're going to meet in this November HMT would be amazing, unbelievable. So if you can make it, please try your hardest to come. It's going to be worth it, in my opinion and in my experience. And if you do know anyone, like I said earlier, please speak to them. Anyone that has attended before, speak to them and find out what their experience is. That will give you a better idea of what to expect. And even at that, you will expect double of whatever they say. I promise you that. Oluremi, good evening. Hello, Abdul. Hello, Paul. Good evening. Thank you for coming. Please, guys, share. Today, we are going to talk about last night's last night's program with Dr. Sunday. Is one of the 7 weapons of Satan, and this one is about the mind, battle of the mind. So, even just thinking about this is really making my head really swell. Just thinking about this and how our mind has been gripped with so many negativity, fear, suggestions that are not of God, all sorts of things. So I really want us to have this discussion today, to reflect on it. How do you feel about this when you heard this yesterday? Is this something you knew before? Is this something that is new to you? What areas of it have affected your life? What are the things that has happened? What are the things that you can do now to make sure that it doesn't happen to the next generation, or even to your children, or let's say to other people? What lessons did you learn yesterday that would really impact your life positively? Let us hear it, please. Let us know your thoughts and your experience. You might actually help somebody else. Somebody else might be thinking what you're thinking and thinking, okay, maybe this is wrong or not. And by you sharing your thoughts, you would actually help them. So Emenike, good evening. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you all for joining. And I will ask you one more time, please. Maybe not one more time. I'm sure I'm going to ask again. Let's be real. So please, guys, would you please share? 3 methods: tag or share with on your page, or invite a friend. So 2 or 3 or 4. Invite somebody to join you, so they will know that you're here, right here, watching this program. Thank you again. I appreciate you. So without further ado, let's start. I hope I would get some caller to join me today because I'm the only one in the studio with Madam Producer who doesn't want to come onto the camera, but she might do, who knows. So if you would like to say anything, you have any suggestion, let us know. Maybe I should start so that I can trigger some things. Dr. Sunday talked about the mind, and first of all, he started yesterday with some videos that he was showing us of churches and how some pastors especially, they are part of the problems, as you know. It's not a secret anymore. They actually put the whole thing on the internet, in the public domain, where they suggest certain things, especially in church, and, you know, tell you about what the devil is doing and how the devil is doing this, and, you know, how they are going to be the superhero to help you to cast out the devil. And, you know, it's just so embarrassing. And usually this happens, the victims of this are usually women. But, you know, it's not exempting men, but it's usually women that they bring out. And unfortunately, it's also women that have fairer in skin, or maybe they have a special type of hairstyle, or they have long hair. You know, that's always a taboo, especially in Africa. I know if you have long hair in some churches, you're demon, or you're something water, mommy water, or something like that, or mermaid. I don't know. So all those kind of things, suggesting certain things in your ears and not protecting you that they should. And one of the videos that Dr. Sunday showed yesterday was one where a lady, a husband and a wife were in church, and the pastor was saying, and the husband was, you know, kind of like exposing the wife. Can you believe that? The husband was exposing the wife on how she is. Apparently she's the man in the relationship, and she beats him up. It's like, what is this nonsense? I'm not saying that things like this doesn't happen, like women beating men up, and I'm not excusing it, and I'm not, you know, but, you know, generally coming to church to say all of those things in front of like hundreds of people in the congregation, and you're still calling that person your wife. Where is the love? Where is the protection? Where is the, you know, honoring your relationship? None of that. Even if they want to talk to pastor, you know, because they respect pastors in Africa and is an authority, it's not to come to the church and do all these things publicly. And even the pastors who are feeling good and hearing this, you don't even find the pastor even protecting them. You know, pastor is trying to make himself look good like a special person, and then he was saying, oh, she's your wife. She's your wife from God. Yes, that sounds good, but, you know, saying that today she's going to be your wife and you're going to be the husband. This is just so demeaning. The whole process, the whole thing was just so wrong. And there's hundreds of people sitting down. Everyone was just, you know, like hearing this story, and the woman was just standing there so, it was just such a mess. You know, just watching that video, I was just shrinking, where I was sitting down and thinking, how did we get here, for God's sake? How did we arrive at this kind of behavior? How can this be acceptable in any ramification? No way. What's going on? But it's happened. It's in public domain. These people don't even have any sense to say, don't show my picture, you know, kind of zoom me, you know, raise my face or anything. They just accept this because of the authority of the pastor of the church. And then what I didn't understand about this was, what is going on with the man? You know, how do you know that the pastor is going to call you out, that you brought the clothes that the woman tore? He said something about the woman wanting to do the hair for some money, and he said no, and then she tore his clothes, and he came with the clothes to church. You see how messy this is? This is just so ridiculous. You know, I can't believe it. So I'm thinking, you know, if you're a congregation in that church, what are you thinking? You know, this is like telling, what is your mind? What would your mind be? You know, is this God? Is this, you know, even any attention to God, or has this become drama or some sort of entertainment center? If you are pastors in there as well, what makes you think that this is the right way to go? Is this what God does? Is this how Jesus taught us to expose people like this and, you know, embarrass them and make them feel fair? Or, you know, and as a husband as well, what's going on with that? Why do you think that that's okay to come and talk about your wife in this way? And then, as the woman as well, why is it that you can't just walk out of that church and say, I'm not accepting this nonsense. This is not the right thing to do to me. You know, I respect myself. I have dignity. I'm a child of God. I'm not going to accept this. I'm out of here. And just walk out. Why is she standing there and letting them talk down on her? I just couldn't understand all this kind of thing. But it happens. And you know what? I am sure that I have been in church at some point in my life, in my 15 years of going to church, that I've been there where they've done something similar, maybe not to this scale, that I've sat there and listened to this tosh and I did nothing as well. So really, this is about the mind. This is how our mind has been captured. It's been castigated to such a way that we can't even think. We don't even know the right thing to do. When we hear church, God, it doesn't matter if it's the devil that is saying it, we just freeze and we don't think anymore. So really, I want us to discuss this. What are your thoughts on this? This is just a snippet. This is just like a fraction of some of the teachings or the video, the beginning. What are your thoughts? What are you thinking? What is on your mind? Let me see what some of you guys are saying right now. I'm going to read your comments. We have Mrs. B, that's Rosalind Amaka on the Facebook. They're saying disgraceful. He must have organized to disgrace his wife in a church. How could he have brought the torn clothes to church? Exactly what I'm saying. He's either an actor or a fool. It's both. He's a bad actor and a fool. I'm sorry to say that, guys. I always try to keep Dr. Sunday's page, especially Dr. Sunday's Facebook page, kosher, and I don't want to go to extreme like I would be myself. So, guys, forgive me when I said that. What did I say again? He's both an actor, a bad actor and a fool. I said forgive me for saying that he's a fool, but he is. Okay? All right. Hello, Pastor Natalia. Hello, Mr. B. How are you? Thank you for joining us. And then we have Alia says, pray for me and my family. God always save and bless him more and more. Pastor, okay, thank you very much, Alisa, for your comments. We will all pray for you. Thank you. And then we have Stella. Okay, thank you, Stella. Irene is saying, he even bought the torn clothes to church. Why? So wrong. Exactly. This is exactly what I'm saying. Why would he do that? Why? What is wrong with these men? What is wrong with the women too? Why would you accept that? So you had the torn clothes in the bag to embarrass your wife in front of everybody. Where is love? Where is protection? When Pastor Sunday was saying that he's supposed to cover her, he's supposed to protect her, he's supposed to, I was thinking, African men, but there's some good African men, so I'm not even going to say men generally. I'm just talking about this situation and also the congregation that's sitting there and thinking that it's acceptable. Not one person has the common sense or the boldness or the courage to get up and say, this is wrong, let's stop this, let's protect this woman, let's pray for her, and husband, you shouldn't be treating your wife like this. Nobody said anything. It was just allowed. So again, this is going back to the main topic, which is the battle of the mind. How your mind is captured and how it's captured from the church, the place where the morals is supposed to come from, the place where the protection, where they're supposed to know the right doctrine, they're supposed to know the right things to say. You know, one time I was talking to a pastor and he was really, really getting on my last P, and he was saying that we know in parts. So if you know in parts, know until you know in full before you come to teach anybody. Don't come and know in parts and start spreading your parts that you know. Half truth is better. Half truth is a lie. Half truth is no good. You know, and you know they make all these excuses for themselves. Okay, you know in parts. Okay, until you know in full, then come back. Let them come and teach. Don't say all these things. I just feel like we all need to just revolt. What's the word? Revolt. That's it. Revolt from this. You know, go against it. We need to stop it. No one is going to stop it for us unless we stop it. So really, I want to know your thoughts. I want to know what you guys are thinking, especially after watching last night's program and Dr. Sunday's teaching, especially in this area. He really opened my mind. He empowered me as a person. He empowered me also to protect other people. You know, what I was thinking is that, you know, even myself, I had to look within myself. The areas where I expose other people, watching that, it might be at a larger scale, but I do it in a smaller scale as well, where I expose things that people are doing wrong. It just made me think that, wow, I'm not supposed to do this because I'm watching this guy doing this to his wife. I'm watching this pastor doing this, and I'm really feeling cringy all over me. I'm just feeling that this is wrong. So also it helped me to see the mirror, not to do it as well. So if you're out there as well, whatever you do, yours might not be in the pulpit or in the church, but it might be at home, or you're embarrassing somebody, or you're showing them, or even talking down on them. This all starts from somewhere. and that's really important. And that's another thing that I want to go on to later, which is what happens to us that cause us to behave or think in a certain way, or even dress in a certain way. Dr. Sunday touched on that there's reasons why people do certain things, and you have to find those reasons and not always condemn people for what they do, because that's what they know, that's what they've been exposed to, that's what they see. So how can we help each other? This is not just about pointing fingers on, who's doing what, who's doing this. What we're looking for is solutions for all of us. So if you have a solution there, please share it with us. I really want to know who can know the hearts of men. That's Fola Shile said that who can know the heart of men. That's a very, very strong statement. Yes, that's a really strong statement. Please elaborate on that if you will. Thank you very much. Fola Shile said, it's only God, if it's only God know what is going on in our minds. Okay, thank you very much. I see where that was coming from. That's only God that knows what's going on in our minds. But also we should know what goes on in our minds, and also try to help each other. And they start from the basis of love and respect and honoring each other. Thank you very much. So this is the battle of the mind. Thank you, Oriyomi. Thank you very much. What's the battle going on? Okay, for Lashile, blessings. For me, it says blessings. Okay, I am trying to visually envision the whole scenario because I didn't watch last night's program. Oh God, Emenike, you really need to watch this. Okay, I've told the story already, but it's so bad. You should just watch it in the beginning. I can't tell you exactly what minutes it started and ended in terms of that video, but maybe you should go and watch it because you would really be interested. But it was just a man exposing the wife and saying that the wife is the husband and he's the wife, and the woman beats him, the woman always give him trouble. The woman, I mean, it's not even by force. Even if the woman did that, do you have to stay with her? I just don't understand the whole thing. It was just such a mess. Why would someone embarrass himself by looking so shameful and disappointing? Exactly. It's just a mess. It is a mess. You really need to watch it. Yes, I've seen Mrs. Rosalind. Ify says, hi, Maiwa. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. So, guys, please call in. I want you to call in because I really want to hear your thoughts on this. I just don't want to be me sounding like I'm ranting over this. I want us to reflect like adults and learn the lessons and find a solution, because this is a problem that springs somewhere. Number one, why does society think is acceptable? Number two, why does individual think is acceptable? Number three, why does the church think is acceptable? And it's also good to televise this. All these questions I really need answers to, and I hope you will be able to help me. Please, guys, if you know the answers to this, please feel free to share your answers. You can also call in on Julie Ngoya's messenger or write down your comment as you're doing right now. The more comments, the better. Hello, this is Irene saying, battle of the mind involves belittling and intimidating. Yes, this particular one involves that, and that is so sad. When I thought about battle of the mind, I always thought of it as you as an individual struggling with your mind, with your thoughts, with, different kind of, scenarios. Really my mind goes straight to people that are suicidal. There's a battle of the mind because what will make them to think and try to kill themselves. But it's on really, really larger scale than that. Very subtle, where you're doing certain things, you're struggling with certain mentalities, certain thoughts that are based on your foundation, what you saw, what you're exposed to, what society thinks is acceptable, what your environment thinks is acceptable. Pastor Sunday Dr. Sunday also said yesterday that actually, even from your mother's womb, you are actually getting certain things from the womb that you're already conditioning yourself to certain things from the womb, which is really a big surprise for me. But at the same time, I know that this has been proven, especially if you're under stress when you're pregnant, that had an effect on the child. So of course, the environment, that is an environment in itself. So you will be affected as a child from the womb. So please let me hear your thoughts. And then we have Irene again saying that the woman was not allowed to speak. She was washed down and humiliated. Exactly. That's really what I struggled with. And I really struggle with this. that happens in society. I don't want to blame any gender, but the way women are treated in or any culture or any continent, the way that women are treated is really terrible. And I think that causes a lot of problem, because this same woman and the women that have your children, and the women also treat women badly, by the way. So even though I'm saying this, please, there's a disclaimer here that I'm not putting all the blame on one gender. I'm also saying that this just happens and we should watch out. Women have your children, women give birth to you, women are, the women play a very pivotal role, but yet they're demeaned, they are humiliated, they're treated in such a way where even other women, if you're a woman that is bold and able to speak, other women even find you challenging. The whole world is conditioning that women should be treated lower and downgraded and, despicable. It's just so sad. We're hearing Dr. Sunday always honors women, and hearing him saying yesterday that you should protect her, you should do this. I was just sitting there and thinking, oh my God, how come we don't even know this? How come this has to be screamed at us that we should do this? She kept quiet there and she was just looking straight. And even the pastor saying that she shouldn't say anything. Who's the pastor to be saying that to her? Honestly, calm down, Mayowa. Calm down. I feel like I've been talking non-stop. What have you guys got to say? Calm down. Let me read one more comment. And I think Julie's here. She wants to say something because she's taking her seat to speak. Let me see what Tope is saying. Dr. Sunday's teaching needs to be listened to over and over. Seems like I have been in a cult-like situation for so long, and certain church myths are being demystified. I am woke. Whoa! Tope, congratulations. This is exactly how I felt when I first listened to Dr. Sunday. It was unbelievable. I think it was around May 2016. That was when I listened to him for the first time. May or end of April, I'm not certain. But you know what? From that moment, I couldn't go back. Every day is my daily meal. If I don't eat, which I love my food, and if I don't do anything, as long as I listen to him, then when I was in England, as long as I listen to him, I am happy. I am growing. I am being enlightened. My world is being opening. My mind is being opening, and I'm getting so much. Then this is just amazing. I was a different person. People can tolerate me. I can tolerate other people then as well. It was just like, what's happening to you? What's going on? I couldn't even give them an answer. But eventually I started giving them an answer, and they started knowing what is going on. But thank you, Tope, for sharing that. That's amazing. Jane is saying, when one is in those churches, all this prophecy stuff is normalized. That is why you see people sitting watching the so-called MOG, men of God. I really don't even like using that to anybody. Men or women of God, that's just manipulation. We're all people of God. So nobody should be saying one person is men of God or whatever. Embarrassing, and men of God embarrassing people, and no one is challenging him, or at least leaving. Or at least leaving the building to show their anger. Yes. Or their disagreement. Exactly. Silence is agreement, as we know. And then thanks to DSA for showing these practical examples, because none of us would not have understood. Thank you, Jane, for saying that, because that's really, really good that you made that comment, that last comment especially. That thank you for Dr. Sunday for showing that practical examples. I mean, this is not the main topic, but I think it's related to it. When Dr. Sunday wanted to start on this, and you already know, guys, especially those that watch all the time, there was a lot of backlash on this, and even people that are very close to Dr. Sunday were saying, don't show videos, just say what you want to say, God will help them. And for me, I don't even want to say which side I was. I think most people would have guessed. And eventually, Dr. Sunday, I believe that he prayed and he did whatever he thought very deeply about this, and then he made a decision that he's going to show it. It is important, because most of the time we think whenever anyone is talking, when we're speaking, it's not visual, it's just what we can see. When anyone says something, we always think that this is relating to somebody else. It's not about me, until we see the visual. We see it, and we know that this has impact on us. What we see has a lot of impact on us. It shouldn't be the only thing that impacts us, but what we see, we understand more. So what I'm trying to say here is that especially showing these practical examples makes us understand that we are also perpetrators. We are also in these churches, in these places where they do this, because it's easy for somebody to tell you and you nod and you say, oh, this is wrong, without you thinking that it's actually related to you as well. It's related to what you are also experiencing. So Jane, well done for pointing that out. I appreciate it. Indica, good evening. Thank you for joining. Who else do we have? Irene, okay. Mayawa, it is well. You are doing great. Oh, thank you very much. I think it's because I said calm myself down. You're very, very nice. Thank you so much for that comment. Yes, you know, I get so high rated sometimes. I really need to learn from Dr. Sunday, because even though he's quite strong on what he's saying, he knows when to not be too emotional and to just be balanced on what he's saying. I also need to be that way, because I'm not for one gender. I'm for both men and female, boys, girls, everybody. So I shouldn't be so like, yeah, and with this women matter. But naturally, I do get up my nerves a lot. Hello, Gabriel. But most sincerely, the video actually looked paid show. Okay, you know what? It could be paid show. Okay, let's say it is a paid show, Gabriel. Then it means that they think that this is acceptable. This is good to pay for somebody to act in this way, that this is acceptable. That's the problem. It's not acceptable. Some people might not think it's paid. And even if it's paid, why would you show something like that? What are you trying to depict? What are you trying to show to people? You know, what examples, what solution are you bringing with that? So that's the problem right there. Even if it is a paid one, it's not an acceptable paid thing. It's not an acceptable behavior. And I think that's what we're saying. But thank you for pointing that out. I sincerely hope it is paid, because that would actually even be better than it being real. Rosalind says, that's Mrs. B, says, well done, Maiwa. Thank you so much, Mrs. B. I appreciate that. Aisha, how are you? Good evening. Okay, I'm late. Don't worry, Aisha, you are here, so you can join in the conversation as usual. You know who to call, Julie Ngoya. We're talking about last night's message, which was the battle of the mind and all the manipulations that goes on within the churches and even in our environment, in homes as well. We don't have videos of homes, but these things trickle down to the home. So you think that's happening in the church, worse things are happening in homes as well. You know, I can imagine this same man that is telling everybody what's happening to his wife in public, knowing that he's being filmed, would also be doing worse in the house, telling, even though the wife beats him, he will probably be telling the neighbors and shouting and telling the whole world. Who knows? The whole thing is just a mess, you know. But that was just one snippet of the video. There were other videos. But before I move on, guys, please write your comments. I love to hear what you're saying. I mean, I love to read what you're saying, and I also love to hear from you. You can call Julie Ngoya. Who are we calling, please? Oluwaseun, we are calling Julie Ngoya. That's Julie Ngoya on Messenger. She'll put a link up right now, and you'll be able to see her. I hope there'll be other callers, because I'm really waiting to hear what you've got to say. I don't want to be the only person that talks here, so I would really appreciate your own opinion as well. If you can, please call Julie Ngoya. If not, please write your comments here. How are you guys? Let me just make one more another announcement, which I've made earlier. It's about HMT, which is History Makers Training. This time next month, we would be having History Makers Training. It actually starts from the 5th of November to the 12th of November. Today being the 12th would have been the last day of it in November, which is next month. If you still want to come and you're in Europe, you don't need visa. If you're in America, you don't need visa. All you need to do is just purchase your ticket and come here to Ukraine. However, if you're in Africa or other countries, please check with your consulate, Ukrainian consulate, to find out if you need visa. And if you do need visa, it might be a little bit too late, because visa will give you a date to come and get it, and it might be all too close. But if you can still try, I wouldn't stop you. I think it's worth it, absolutely worth it. If you don't know anything about HMT, which is History Makers Training, then I would urge you to go to Sunday Adelaja Official on YouTube. Yes, I'm right. Sunday Adelaja Official, where you can you will see a playlist which has HMT, and you will be able to see previous HMT and what has happened there, and you know, have an idea what happens in HMT. But I say to you, it's absolutely worth coming, and we have a discount that we're offering people up until the 20th of October, which is just in 8 days time before that discount closes. So please hurry, and call and get in touch. You can go to sundayadelajablog.com/visit. That's sundayadelajablog.com, blog.com. I'll repeat, sundayadelajablog.com/visit, or you can email directly guest@godembassy.org. That's guest@godembassy.org. I would really love to see you. And you know what? It's not just for me. I know I like seeing people around and being around people, but it's not just about me. You would also be blessed. You would be thankful that you came. The topics for this amazing. You know, I just got a snippet of it, and you know, I can't wait. I'm going to have to use something so that I don't feel tired. I can go on, because HMT usually go on from like 6 in the morning to like 12 midnight. So it's a really intensive period or days. So please make every effort to attend. Julie Ngoya has actually put up her details. Julie Ngoya, she said you can call me to contribute to the broadcast. Julie Ngoya with a smile and thumbs up. Thank you very much, Julie. Sharon says, I gave up on pastors who does miracles like magic since I was 13. Now I'm 33. Well done, Sharon. You are your miracle worker. It's not no pastor, it's not nobody. So well done. Excellent job. Good job. 13. Wow. You're amazing. 20 years ago, you're just blessed. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. Hello, Lisa C. That's David. How are you? Good evening. Who are we calling? Okay, you got who we're calling. So I'm going to turn the camera to Julie Ngoya so that she can say something, because I'm sure she has something to say on this topic. Okay.
Hello. So it's been a while, yes, but I felt like I want to share something, because this teaching yesterday was really, really intriguing for me, and it was very pleasant as well, because as some of you may know, I'm helping Dr. Sunday in the research with these videos, and it's always very mind-boggling for me to really see how all of this is happening in the church. I still can't comprehend it. I still can't understand how someone can, you know, perform all these tricks and get away with it, really. Who's able to manipulate so many people in the name of God, and people are buying it. People are going there every time. They repeatedly ask for the same things. They repeatedly hear the same things. And they go back and they come back, and they go back and they come back. So for me, it's just, I don't understand it. And I just feel sorry for so many, for all of these people who are being led by the blind and who are staying blind. But anyway, in terms of yesterday, I want to say that one thing that really stood out to me is that I understood, you know, the reason for the same teachings always being preached in church. I particularly, because I also grew up in church. My parents were always going to church ever since I was born. So church for me is like, it's normal. It's not necessarily something that, you know, is special. But I have been seeing all these things in church as well. You know, people rolling around the floor, and for some reason also always the same people rolling around the floor, on the floor, and then always women, and all the shoutings and the hair pulling, and you know, all these demons that are being cast out and come in and cast out. But I noticed that because Dr. Sunday was talking about the mind, the battle of the mind, and he was categorizing everything. He was giving us a manual to be able to distinguish what actually is spiritual and what is something that we can fix ourselves through knowledge, through the appropriate knowledge. You know, it started with him making differences when it comes to satanic oppression, satanic attack, and then also demonic possession, or someone being possessed by a spirit or a demon. And these are things that, for me, there were no distinguishings between these things. There was no difference. So when I would go to church, pastors would always mix all of this together, just like he's saying it. He said it. So if it was an attack or it wasn't an attack, if it was a mental issue, if it was sinful thoughts, if it was carnal thoughts, anything that came, pastors would just throw everything together and say this is demonic or this is spiritual and you need deliverance. So for me, it was just beautiful to hear that, you know what, yes, there are spiritual attacks, and yes, there are demonic thoughts, but not everything that we go through are demonic thoughts. And guess what? Most things that we go through are not demonic thoughts. They're not necessarily things where we need deliverance for. So we have to really get to know ourselves. We have to get to know our bodies. We have to get to know our physics. We have to get to know our psyche. We have to get to know ourselves. And we haven't spent time knowing how we function. You know, what are the thoughts that are normal for us to generate based on how we grew up? What is it that we went through in life? Have we actually spent time observing, you know, who we are and why we are who we are? You know, what are the things that are traumatizing to us? Why do we react certain ways, you know, differently than others? You know, how did these things come across? Because we all have a history. We all come from somewhere. We all have been going through so many things, and we tend to ignore all of that. We, for some reason, just, you know, don't pay any attention to who we are or, you know, the history of who we are, and just try to not have any problems at all. Like, we don't care. We don't want to know. We just want to be good. We just want to be, you know, healed, and we just want to walk on our two legs and feet, and eat well and dress well and look well, and that's it. You know, it's so ignorant, and that's, you know, so widespread. It's so widespread in the entire church body. And this is what really was revealed to me yesterday when listening to Pastor Sunday. I was thinking, wow, you know, above all the laughing and, you know, the funny stories that he was telling, which were really, really, really funny. And I found it so real and very strong of Pastor Sunday to be so vulnerable and share his own testimony. But above all of this, I was just so wowed at the fact that we're so ignorant of ourselves. You know, that we have these carnal thoughts, we have God's voice, we have worldly thoughts, we have demonic thoughts, we have sinful thoughts, we have, you know, these are all thoughts that we have, and it's normal for us to have them, and we have to know how to deal with them. And Dr. Sunday gave us the weapons of our warfare as well, where, you know, we have the truth, we have God's voice, we have the blood of Jesus, we have our willpower, which so many of us just abandon. Like, we don't have any willpower at all. Like, someone else was commenting yesterday about what about prayer? But you can't just pray for the sake of praying. You have to know how to pray. You have to say certain things. You can't just narrate things that you've learned, you know, all of it because they're written in the Bible. You have to be able to use them. It's just like those warfare tools that Dr. Sunday gave us. We have to be able to use them, just like when you use a fork for a specific type of meal that you can't use a spoon for, right? If you're eating soup, you can't use a fork for that. So we can't just mix things around. We have to know what is made for what. So I hope we really go back to re-listen to this, because I loved yesterday's message and I want to go back to listen to it. I want to share it with everyone, especially all those religious people that I know, you know, who always have something to say about Bible verses and, you know, quoting something, praying for 5 hours and everything, and nothing is changing. So if you need some message to send to someone who's religiously captive somehow, I think this is the message that you should send him or her, because it is so well explained, so detailed, and it makes sense. And, you know, nobody's going to say Pastor Sunday's not spiritual, he doesn't pray, because he's touching on all aspects. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to contribute, and I hope that it was edifying to you, and we really love your thoughts. So feel free to call me on Facebook Messenger, and we will put you live.
Julie, actually, somebody said that they've tried to call you, but it's not connecting, and it says you need to accept my ad request before my call can go through.
Let me check.
Yes. Okay.
I'll check.
So I'll turn my camera on and you would do a thing. So guys, I just want to be a separate. There's a lot of information, but they're all vital, and I think that we all need to pay attention to them. Where again, this is about the battle of the mind. And we know how challenging this is in so many ways. We've been challenged with this, and the people, or even they don't know themselves. I'm not pointing fingers. They're supposed to help or have the understanding. They don't have the understanding, and they tell us that they know in parts, or they're not sure, and they're sharing certain things and exposing things that they should be protecting us over, and also us as well. We need to know our own weapon of warfare, not using our mind is really a big challenge. We should all start using our own minds ourselves. I think we have a caller. Let's see what Irene is saying first, though. Tom, peace out. We need results and not endless prayers and preaching. Well done. Absolutely. So true. 1 second, please. Oluwaseun. Oh, okay. Where the volume?
Yeah. Hello.
Hello, Oluwaseun. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Good morning. I'm calling from US.
Hello. It's morning there, so it's evening here. But thank you so much for calling.
It's even afternoon, like to 1.
Okay.
I want to bless God for DSA.
Yes.
And yesterday's teaching was wow. I've been watching for quite some time, but I wrote down a lot of things yesterday when he thought about the thoughts that comes to the categories of thoughts that comes to our mind.
Mm-hmm.
The sinful, the carnal, the sinful, the demonic, the worldly, then God's voice. They are just so awesome. I was just so happy in my spirit for that exposition. And I say God bless the ministry and him in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
I just want to say something, and I feel part of this stuff with most of these pastors is, just like this guy, Herod, that was smitten and was eaten by maggots in the Bible.
Okay, it's not King Herod?
No.
Herod? Or is there another Herod?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
King Herod.
Okay.
He yielded to the praise of men. And what happened? They were saying, oh man, this guy speaks, his voice looks like that of God. And he yielded. He took that praise upon himself and definitely God spoke to him. And that is what is still happening today. When somebody demonstrates the act of miracles, instead of us to see it as grace upon the person, we now start worshiping the person. Now, instead of that person also to now say, oh, you know what? No, that praise belongs to God, and just make sure that you do the needful things. The person will now take that praise. At that time, the person will start having bodyguards. The person will now start being unreachable, and now by the time there's no miracle, they now look at it, man, I have to deliver. So what do I have to do? They now start looking for fake stuff. And most of these people, because they are ignorant, they don't have the knowledge of the word of God. I'm talking about the people that...
The congregations or the...
Yeah, exactly, the congregation. Now, because they have a little challenge that they themselves can pray to God for, or they can wait on God for, they now have to, by all means, they want to see that man. And when he now gets there, now, that is where the power of God, as in manipulating the mind, comes in. The man that they go to meet now start telling them some stuff that they know is not true. But because they look at it, they are ignorant, they don't know. And they feel like, man, this man cannot be wrong. Well, maybe this thing is happening to me and I don't know, and they will now start accepting and now start saying, oh, yeah, man of God, yes, it's true. Whereas they don't even have a clue of what the person is saying.
Wow.
And at the long run, the man of God now say, oh, you need deliverance. Oh, you deliver. I imagine how you do.
This is really battle of the mind for real. The account that you've given us is really a real battle of the mind. Can you imagine?
Yeah, exactly. And that is what God knows that this mind is the center point of we humans. And that is why he said we should guard our hearts with all diligence.
Yes.
That's number 1. Hebrews 12 2 says, Romans 12 2, that it said we should not be conformed to this world, but we should be transformed by the renewing. It's not just to renew once, it's a continual process.
Yes.
Because from time to time, all these categories of thoughts would come. But you can be able to overcome them when your mind is renewed day by day.
Wow.
But most people don't know this. We give those attributes to the pastors, we give those attributes to the head, and we say, no, those are the only people that they cannot see themselves.
Yes.
And when they commit any mistake, we cover it ourselves, we cover them because we look at it, no, these people cannot see.
Yes, because we've been gripped.
Make them to fall.
Yes.
And when we make mistakes, they now publicize our own mistake as if, oh, you are the devil and the like. They just need to, maybe they need to be born again.
Do you know, you made a very good point there, you know.
I just want to commend what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
And we're all going places in Jesus'
name. Amen. Thank you so much, Oluwaseun. I appreciate that. Please call again anytime that we're on. Feel free to call. I appreciate your comments. Very, very thoughtful information that you gave us there. I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Wow. Look at the caller. He gave an account there. Step way of people brainwashing and gripping people's minds. You know, but you know the bottom line here is that we don't read our Bible ourselves. We don't respect the God in us. We don't want to do the hard work. So we look upon a man, just a bare man, just like us. Okay? We all have God in us. And for some reason, we accept that those people are separated and God is giving them some superpower that we don't have. So whatever they say to us, we accept it. But this is one of the greatest battles that we have to fight ourselves. Oh, we have Aisha as well. Aisha, brilliant. How are you today? Oh, sorry.
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
So I just want to say two things about yesterday's teaching was so powerful and profound, like always. But Dr. Sunday really went on details and let people know about so many things that those pastors are using to pray on them instead of praying for them.
Pray, not pray on them instead of pray for them.
And for me personally, like when you become a born-again Christian and you were 17 years old, you come from Muslim background,
yes,
you didn't have any experience, so you're just looking up to these pastors as they were direct Jesus representative. So you trust them with everything, you trust them because you saw that they're in the pulpit, everybody's respecting them, you are young, so you don't know better, so you look up to them like they were direct. I used to think all the pastors were direct representative of Jesus, or they were Jesus, you know, until I had all those bad experiences I had. So sometimes it's the power of ignorance, like not knowing much, you know. I will plead with even right now, as we are in the DSA platform, we are listening to DSA, I will encourage everyone to really go back, read your Bible, understand your Bible for your own. Have that personal relationship with God, just like DSA is saying all the time. So you won't, because DSA is a human being, he's fallible. Everybody is fallible. So I want people to know God for themselves.
Brilliant.
But that's the most important thing.
Brilliant,
you know?
Brilliant.
So
Aisha.
and then get knowledge, acquire knowledge. Every knowledge you can acquire it, because that is the only knowledge is power.
Yes.
Knowledge is power.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's what I want to contribute.
Brilliant, Aisha. Brilliant as usual. Please come again. I appreciate your comments and your thoughts. Thank you very much. And that, I think we have another caller. Guys, you guys are beautiful as usual. Just the fact that you're calling in and sharing your thoughts with us, I am grateful. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's have, okay, Chimezi said, Oluwaseun, you're spot on. Sheun says, at the end of the day, the kingdom of God is not for either Christians or Muslims. It's for those who fear the Lord and feed the poor. Okay, Sheun, thank you for that comment. I appreciate it. And then we have Irene says that, thumbs up, we need results and not endless prayer. Preach! Yay! And I think that's exactly what Julie was saying. Thank you so much. So true, there's been a purpose. There has to be a purpose to our prayers. That's also Irene. Thank you so much. We have faith. That's Aisha saying that. Okay, thank you so much, guys. This is beautiful. Is there anyone on the phone calling? Who do we have today? Hello.
Hello, hi, this is Rosalind.
Hello, Mrs. V. Thank you for calling. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. So, what have you got to say on our topic today?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I said, what do you want to say about a topic today? What was your contribution?
God. Yesterday was
Yes.
so fun. Yeah, yesterday was so fantastic. I really enjoyed it.
Okay, good.
There was so much revelation there in every form. I think there's so many things I picked up that are not things I thought about. One of them was when Dr. Sunday said, when you get born again, your subconscious does not become born again. So I think what happens often with us is when we become born again, we assume that because we are willing, we want Jesus in our lives and we want everything to be beautiful and pure and perfect and good. We assume that because we've given ourselves fully to Christ and because we are saying openly and willingly, we're accepting Him, we are becoming born again in every way, verbally, physically, whatever, we're assuming that therefore there's purity in everything and our subconscious, we just assume everything should be under Christ. But it doesn't work like that. The subconscious still does whatever it wants to do. It's going to stray and it's going to have crazy thoughts. It's going to do what it wants to do because that's who we've been for years. That has been our experience. That has been, do you know what I mean? That has been all we know. So if somebody, he also mentioned that very often when people become born again, they have a period of grace. Like he experienced a period of grace where suddenly, when he became born again, he just did not find girls. They were attractive, but he didn't need to have to date them.
Yes.
There's this peace and this focus, now it's just Jesus. It's only about Jesus until he went abroad. And it was just like, wow. And then you saw real temptation, So, but what happens is we just assume very often that whether because we are newly born again or because we've been born again for a long time, we want to give an excuse for why we're still having those thoughts. Whether they're carnal thoughts, sinful thoughts, they're the thoughts that the Sunday explained to us, demonic world and God's voice, whatever. We want to give an excuse for where we're having different thoughts in our head, and we just don't understand that it is normal to have those thoughts until we begin to do something about curbing the voices in our minds. Because it's the subconscious did not become born again.
Yes.
It's the conscious part of us that became born again. Now, the question I have is, what gives many pastors the right to assume that somebody must be under a demonic attack or be demonically possessed just because the person has different thoughts? What makes them assume? In certain countries, like in Canada, you are not allowed, as a pastor, an ordained pastor, you are not allowed to counsel people unless you have a certificate in psychology. You need to have had a certificate in some part of the medical field of social sciences that allows you practice as a counselor. You can't just say, because I'm anointed, because, because, I've been to Bible school, because I've been under a particular GO for a long time, or for years, that gives me the right to counsel people. Because what happens there is that the thoughts the pastors have very often are biased, which is fair enough, it's okay, because very often they're coming from the spiritual angle of it, which is fine.
Yes.
But then there's no balance. So somebody may really have a mental problem, or they could be under a lot of strain, some kind of psychological strain or the other, or they could be under some demonic obsession. They could have different things. They could have different issues bothering them. And that is where those thoughts are coming from. Those people should have counseling. But instead, what happens often is that there's a suggestion given to them. Like how in one of the videos Dr. Sobe showed yesterday, the pastor was telling the man, he said, you've been, you've been under demonic you love God.
Yeah, suggesting certain things to them.
Yeah, you come to love God and you now tell the man you're under demonic possession.
And he said, yes. That's a good point that you made, actually. How many people have ever said to a pastor, no, whenever a prophet or anyone calls them in? They can't all be 100% right. Has anyone ever come and said no? It's like funeral. I'm just digressing a little bit here. Everyone is always saying how nice people are when they pass on. Like, really, they're not always nice, you know?
Because there's a myth of don't say bad about the dead.
Well,
You know what I mean?
they don't say anything at all. I'm sorry, I'm digressing here. But you've got some really good points here, Mrs. B, because first you started with, I think actually it was Aisha that said no one is fallible. But then you went on also to the point where Dr. Sunday was saying that when you're born again, there's certain parts of you that is not really born again, like your flesh and all that, right? And it's going to take time. So I think this is one key thing that we also need to remember as human beings, where we have this unrealistic expectations, especially when we're Christians, that this is the way we should be, automatically we should be like this. And that mentality is what makes us condemn other people. And that same mentality is also what makes pastors think that they're superior just because of their understanding. And one of the points that you made, and everybody else, one or two people have also made, is this issue about not qualifying for something and misleading the multitude. I think Irene also wrote this down, because I can read from distance what people are writing, that it is wrong, if you don't know fully, you're not certain. And this is why I think that it's actually good in life sometimes when we don't know everything, because by knowing everything, you think that you're superior to other people that don't know, right? And also, God also put it in us so that we are able to know ourselves. Because I know that I don't know everything. I know that the things that I have believed or I've known, that I believed that I knew, that are wrong. So for that reason, you should always pardon other people, because if I think of myself and some of the places of what I've done wrong, then I shouldn't, put people up on the stage and start showing them up or, saying certain things. I don't know their journey.
No love, no mercy.
No mercy, nothing like that. So we really all need to work on ourselves. But I really appreciate your comment today and, some of the things that you've shared with us. Guys, I really urge us that we should really go back and watch this videos, either last night's video with Dr. Sunday or even this, because a lot of people had some contributions to share and their thoughts and what they were thinking on the teaching yesterday. So it was a great reflection. I appreciate everyone for their contribution. Mrs. B, I really appreciate you. I mean, twice in a row. I'm really impressed that you called in twice in a row. I'm looking forward to you calling again tomorrow, hopefully. So I hope you'll be able to. Thank you so much for your call.
Thanks.
Okay, bye. So guys, it's been a great evening as usual. Always a pleasure to be with you. Don't forget, guys, you can share this, share right now. You can tag somebody and you can still invite someone. They'll still get notification and they can watch it because it's going to be saved on Facebook. And also don't remember, everything you see here on Facebook will eventually go onto YouTube, Sunday Adelaja Official, and there are more on YouTube, Sunday Adelaja Official. All playlists, all titles, all teachings of Dr. Sunday are all on Facebook. They are in. There are also some audios on there, so you might want to go and check the YouTube channel out. You'll find so much more than I can tell you. And of course, you can go to SundayAdelajablog.com, where you will find articles. You will find lots of stories and other things. Information, scholarships. There's so much. I think you should go to Sunday Adelaja Official and SundayAdelajablog.com and explore that website. It's a fantastic website. There's so much to it. I enjoy reading the articles on there. They're very, very rich and informative, and it's also related to life and issues that will currently really enlighten you when you get the information, or when you know. It's like reading a book, a very, very good book. So I urge you to go on SundayAdelajablog.com. And of course, if you're going to come to HMT or you want to find out about HMT, your best bet is to go on SundayAdelajablog hsmtblog.com/visit. There's a form on there. You can fill out the form about HMT to find out more information or to register for HMT. If you want just information, I would suggest that you actually email guest@godembassy.org. That's guest@godembassy.org if you want information about HMT. If you're in Europe or you are in America, you're free, visa free, so you don't need visa to come over here. If you're a citizen, actually, I made a mistake by just saying if you are there, because you're there, but you might not hold the passport of those countries, you will still need visa. But however, if you have nationality or citizenship, I don't know, I think it's citizenship of Europe or America, you'll be free to come on without needing a visa. So it's in about 3 weeks now, which is from the 5th to the 12th of November. And there's special discounts that are available, so please get in touch and check out this HMT that's called History Makers Training. I'm really looking forward to seeing you all, as many people as possible. I mean, History Makers, I cannot emphasize on it enough. It is worth actually coming to 1, 2, 3, 4, because there are different topics all the time. And Dr. Sunday already, he doesn't treat anything in halves. He does it fully, 360 degrees, everywhere you go, every angle, no corner is left untouched. So if he's going to be teaching on any topic, or he's going to be training, you will be getting more than your money's worth. You only need to pay for accommodation, in fact, and that's it. Everything else is provided for you. So please, guys, I would urge you to check History Makers Training out, and you can watch videos about it. It's on YouTube, Sunday Adelaja Official, or you can actually write to us at guest@godembassy.org, guest@godembassy.org, or you can go on to sundayadelajablog.com/visit if you want to complete the form. It's in a few weeks, and I look forward to seeing you all. Hello again. Thank you. Irene says, great, good info. Thank you so much. Shegun, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Hello, Mrs. Banjako again. Dupe, thank you very much. Thank you all. Hi, Julie. That's Dupe saying that. Thank you, Julie. Thank you. It is called intimidation and fear. They instill fear in people. Yes, that's what they do. And this is that's the worst thing about the battle of the mind. Nobody should be instilling fear on you. Unto freedom you are called. So we'll see you again. Next Sunday we'll be back in 50 minutes, or we'll be here in 50 minutes. And I will also be somewhere in this room listening to the teaching as well, and learning, eagerly awaiting to learn in this topic today. It's really, really interesting, and I think you should join us. But please try to join us and invite other people. That's 7 p.m. UK and Nigeria time, and that's 9 p.m. here in Ukraine. But the most important time, I think, is GMT, which is 7 p.m. We'll see you in 50 minutes. So join us again. Thank you all for your contributions. I appreciate it. I'll see you tomorrow. So we'll start another program tomorrow. We'll see. We might do another reflection on today's program. So we'll see. Take care of yourselves. Thank you. Bye.